Hall of Fame. So I want to congratulate and thank Steve for paying tribute to one of the greatest. Probably, if lightning strikes in one's life, and it means that your life gets better, you're looking at the lightning in my life. He definitely struck my life in a way that every dream I ever had as a kid came true because he wrote the hit records that I had with Thelma and Joyce. So if you remember Knock Three Times, Larry wrote Knock Three Times.
Yeah.
If you remember Sweet Gypsy Rose, Larry wrote Sweet Gypsy Rose. And then if you remember a song called Tie Yellow Ribbon Round the Old Oak Tree, that man wrote Tie Yellow Ribbon Round the Old Oak Tree. He also wrote a great song for the Four Seasons, Come On Marianne. That was also Larry Brown. I want to share this with you because this is a museum. This is going in and out on me, but if it does go out on me, I'll just speak louder. This museum has everybody in it, from Sinatra, Tony Bennett, Whitney Houston, Springsteen, Bon Jovi, Frankie Valli, and Einstein. Right? And every one of these people have contributed something in life into our country that's really wonderful. But he has done something no songwriter has ever done. And I'm going to share you, I'll tell you why. You write a song like God Bless the USA, it stays within the boundaries of this country. A great song my friend Lee Greenwood wrote, inspires the country. But it never went outside the perimeters of this country. The same thing with Blowing in the Wind. Never went outside, as great as a song it was. But this band writes a song with Erwin Levine. Get this. Welcome Home Our Hostages. First it started out Welcome Home Our POWs in 1973. The Cotton Bowl with Bob Hope. I have reunion with them ever since that day, 54 years with our POWs, because their song became their homecoming. I'm coming home, I've done my time, was Yellow Ribbon. Then it went on, Iranian hostage crisis. 444 days, Americans were held hostage in Iran. And when did they come home to? Yellow ribbons up Pennsylvania Avenue, also yellow ribbons on the space shuttle. What song was sung to welcome them home? Man wrote that song right here. If you go right now to Israel, those hostages have come home. There's yellow ribbons on every tower, every car, every building, every lapel. In all of Israel, welcome home the American hostages and Israeli hostages. The yellow ribbon has gone out and become a symbol of hope and homecoming to 17 different countries. 17 countries. So the tentacles to this song has reached the world in a way that I don't think any other song has ever done before. I can't think of a song, honestly, that is a song to symbolize a homecoming in China. China. In Brazil, in Cuba, in Australia, in South America, in Canada. One little song in 1963 opened the doors for every country to do exactly what we've done here. A symbol of hope, of love, of homecoming. That's what he wrote. Forget about being a hit record. He motivated people to love each other, to welcome home people who have been held captive in horrible places. He gave those families hope with that song. I remember myself in 2014, I was in Israel and I was asked if I would go to the home of 3 boys who were kidnapped by Hamas and tie yellow ribbons in hope that they would come home. Well, those 3 boys never made home. They were killed in 2014. And I remember standing with those families of those boys, and all they wanted me to do was tie a yellow ribbon on the front of their houses, hoping that those boys would come home, and they never did. This is not just an ordinary song. This is not just Tony Orlando and Dawn. This is something on another level. There is nobody on this wall, with all the respect I have for every songwriter on this wall, who has ever written a song that's motivated the planet, the world. And that's the truth. That's not a magnification of the truth. That is the truth. When you hear, I'm coming home, I've done my time, and you see people who have held hostage like those who were held in Israel, or ours for 444 days in Iran, and then you meet the families, and there's yellow ribbons tied on everything they have, hoping they come home. This is not an ordinary song. This is not an ordinary moment. This is not even an ordinary moment in this incredible place called the Hall of Fame of New Jersey. Thomas Edison is in this Hall of Fame. And to honor this man today is a dream come true for me. You know, when you hear, I'm coming home, I've done my time. To those people who waited for those hostages to come home, whether it be Iran or just the other day, that's everything. All they had was a yellow ribbon on their lapels to hope for. That's all they had. That's it. You're never going to come across a songwriter, never before, or never since, or never again, has written a song like the song he wrote. I just was the mailman that delivered the letter. He's the man that wrote the letter. He's the man that inspired the whole world. And I want to thank the president of the Hall of Fame for recognizing Larry Brown. Mind doing that for him? Is he the president? And Steve understood the power of what Larry has done. So we're going to give this medal. Fame, being honored in the Hall of Fame, great Larry Brown. Everybody.
Before you said we hope you talk with Larry and congratulate him, talk with Tony. But we have, Tony did, this microphone is not working. All right, I'll just have to talk about this. Testing. So I invite you to look at the video that Tony made. I think it's about a minute long. When you're done, it's over here in this Everyday Heroes exhibit. And that video will be here forever. It is a permanent recognition of Larry's contribution to the music world and the world. And it's not a mistake that we put it next to, you see that Greek definition of arete? That is the soul of the New Jersey Hall of Fame. It's ancient Greek wisdom that Plato, Aristotle, and Socrates referred to as the essence of life. It means the act of actualizing your highest, best sense of self with a moral excellence of character and for the greater good. That's what these two guys did. How about a big round of applause for them?
So Larry, I want to share something with you. Because of his song, 1973, I was asked by Bob Hope to come to the Cotton Bowl to welcome home our POWs in Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos. I have reunion with those guys for 54 straight years. Since then, that song has been responsible for raising over $100 million on behalf of veterans' causes. His song. That's the tool that raised the money. You can give that a hand. And there's only about 20 of you in here. But 20 of you can tell 20 more. And 20 more can tell 20 more. And 20 more can tell 20 more. I want you to make sure that you share this story with people. That you met the writer that really inspired the world. I'm not joking. Forget about hit records. Forget about any of that. If I read to you, for instance, if you go to the Philippines, it's their theme song. President Aquino had me to her home because of that song. Why? Because her husband was killed by terrorists on a tarmac, and the yellow ribbon became the signature of her homecoming. The same thing, Singapore, Taiwan, Canada, South America, Europe, England, China, of all places, China uses it as a symbol, the yellow ribbon. And all of it started in 1973 and thereafter. Not before, but thereafter. This is an enormous accomplishment that him and Irwin did. If there's anything I want to do in my career, is to be able to let the public know that this wasn't just a hit record. This wasn't just a song that made the charts. This wasn't just a song that you could sing in Las Vegas. This song changed the world, made it better for people, made a homecoming more beautiful for people. I'm going to give this microphone now to the man who wrote it, Mr. Larry Brown.
Let me start by thanking my brother, the man who made it all possible for me. Took my songs, they were very simple songs on a guitar, and turned them into magic. And not only turned them into magic, but the whole world got it. And he taught it to people like Sinatra. Hello, I got it now. So, so Tony taught the songs to people like Frank Sinatra, like Dolly Parton, to all the people who have thousands who have done them. And because of him, I'm standing here looking at my family, whom I love. Thanks for coming, and all the people that are here. And thanks, Steve Edwards, for making it all possible. I greatly appreciate it. Steve Edwards, tremendous. And the entire New Jersey Hall of Fame team that have been here. It makes me feel great to be here. And I will say this to you. Growing up in Newark, in the housing projects, unlike so many people who had to come from Nebraska or God knows where to get on a bus or a train to get to New York and show their music and then get turned down and cry all the way home, I just had to take the 107 bus. And in an hour, I could cry for an hour. But I could go back the next day and get my turn downs. And that's what it's all about. It's about rejections. And whoever could withstand the rejections, not the most talented people, but the people who could fall down, like Frankie says in Jersey Boys, fall down and get up. Tony Orlando himself, at 16, had a couple of big hits, and then nothing for so long, and you think someone else would quit? There's no quitting that guy. He doesn't have a quit button. Oh no. That man is going to be here to his last day. He's going to be working. And I like to think that I'm going to be doing the same thing. The fact that my song, Irwin's song, touched so many people around the world is something that I never dreamed would happen when I wrote it. I only wrote it to make people happy for 3 minutes, but it did touch the world, thank God. And I feel blessed that I'm here with my wife. My wife and I celebrated 60 years of marriage. She got in my taxi cab 60 years ago on Market Street in Newark, and we've been together, and I've been driving her ever since. I'll be driving her crazy. But she's here with me today. And I want to thank everybody for coming here, and please remember, I'm the most thankful person in this room. God bless you.
Remind our audience, if you haven't seen it, this is part of the permanent exhibit here at the Hall of Fame. We brought Tony in to New York about a year and a half ago, and he did a green screen performance of Tie a Yellow Ribbon. So every person that comes to the Hall of Fame exhibit here can sing along with Tony, and they're singing Tie Yellow Ribbon. So that is immortalized right here, and anyone can participate. I think it's one of the most popular. Yeah, it is.
Once again, thank you everybody for coming here. Thanks Steve Edwards and all the people at the New Jersey Hall of Fame. I'm honored to be here, to be a part of it, something I never dreamed would happen to me, and hold it down.
I would invite, I don't think everybody can fit all at once. But we have Tie Yellow Ribbon and hologram of you performing it.
70 pounds heavier than I am right now.
A good straight here, you just do funny stuff.
I'll do the best I can.
But anyway, we can take turns, and I think we'll probably get like 12 people who sign on. You should see this. This is pretty incredible technology.
Let me just share something about this guy. So, I wanted very much that he will be in the Hall of Fame. But he wanted to make sure that they, before they even voted, to start a whole new position for this. He said, you see behind me, it says Everyday Hero. This is the first honored person who's a hero from New Jersey in this Hall of Fame, and it will continue. But he has promised me that there'll be a time when it takes time to vote for 20 and 30 people every year, that he'll be on the list, and so I guarantee you he'll be on this wall. And he's permanently in here right now. So he's the first one to be recognized this way. Not the last one, the first one. He's definitely a hero of those of us who lived and brought up in New Jersey. What he's done is I just want to read something to you, really quick, if you don't mind. So, hold the microphone. I want you to see. So we'll start with Australia. Welcome home troops. Brazil. Welcome home troops. Canada. Welcome home troops. All since 1973. China. It stands for sinking a ship that happened in 2015. They adopted the yellow ribbon as a symbol on behalf of those people. China. Cuba, the yellow ribbon. Denmark and Sweden and Norway, the yellow ribbon, a symbol for welcome home troops. Estonia, yellow ribbon. Whenever you hear Germany, welcome home troops. All beginning after 1973, after he wrote that song. Hong Kong is the song for freedom, for democratic life in Hong Kong. So in order to stand tall against China and be like us in America and have a democratic country, what do you think they play on every demonstration? Tie yellow ribbon. And they use yellow ribbons everywhere for democracy. This is amazing. Think of Indonesia. Listen to what I'm telling you. Israel. You saw what happened in Israel. Italy. The ribbon supports prisoners of war, POWs. Italy. Japan. It honors welcoming home their troops. Kuwait. Malaysia. I'm getting off this. This is all Wikipedia on 2 words. Yellow ribbon. New Zealand. Philippines. Singapore. South Korea. Here's a picture of the Pope in South Korea, recent Pope, wearing a yellow ribbon in his visit to South Korea. Spain. Catalonia. Are you getting this now? Do you understand what he's done, this man? Have you ever seen any song do this? Ever? I haven't. I've just been lucky enough to deliver the letter. Look what this man, Ukraine, right now, it's a symbol of hope and homecoming, right now. Get this through your heads, folks. This is not an ordinary song at an ordinary moment. This is, forget Tony Langford gone, Forget show business, forget all of that. This moved the world. This man's song. The United Kingdom. I'm not lying to you. You can go there, and it goes on and on. Also, it's a symbol for suicide prevention. Also, it's a symbol for pediatric cancer. Also, it's a symbol that started other colors, other ribbons on behalf of breast cancer, etc. No, this isn't an ordinary hero. This isn't an everyday hero. This is an extraordinary hero. This is something beyond words. This man. So it's my pleasure, my honor, thanks to Steve, to be here. The guy who just delivered the letter for you. Thank you for making my life better, my family's life better. Thank you for making the world better, Larry. What you did when you wrote that song changed the world. Remember that. All these people deserve to be on that wall. And if there's anybody who deserves to be on that wall, and everything that has to do with Smithsonian and Washington, etc., it's you and Irwin. You wrote something very unique, very special. And I know everybody in here thanks you for it. Thank you, everybody.
Can we get that? You guys can start making your way to see the song. You want to go watch that?